MMA is not like WWE. They respect the internet media and they hook you up, you know.
Oh,
I remember back in the day when we did WZR, when it had a name besides letters.
Right.
When we did the show then, remember me and you, we could just call up
It's a good one, Matt. It's a good one, buddy.
Thank you. No, but we could. You were there. We've done it. We used to book guests together every once in a while. We could call the UFC media department right up and be like, "Who you got for us?" And they would give us like three or four names to pick from, and we'd be like, "Ooh, let's get that one. Let's get
Remember the dude that hosted? We didn't talk about Lashley versus Seth, but the guy that was hosting that show, Seth Petrozelli, was a former co-host on here.
He was he was a co-host on MMAnews.com's radio show I did with Louis Cruz. But we at WZR, we used to have first it was Ryan Bennett, the late Ryan Bennett, who was former UFC. He was the former UFC ring announcer guy, and then after that, because he stole our idea and then created his own show, you know, bastard. But rest in peace, Ryan. But then after that, we got El Wapo. El Wapo Bas Rutten was our special co-host every week for the MMA segment. Remember?
You know, that Ryan Bennett, you know, he was such a good guy at first, and I know
he was.
Rest in peace, dude. He was a great guy. You know, we used to have him on all the time, and then went and did his own thing and just
completely stole our idea, like down to the T. It was the same exact thing, but you know, I was like, wow, what an asshole move! I can't.
Yeah, dude, it was good. And then only a couple weeks after that, he got in a car accident and passed away. But I remember, God, we had him on here and. You know, I know the guy went out and did his own thing, and kind of copied, stole whatever we had going here. But man, he was one of the coolest guys to talk to when we had him on. I mean, he was just awesome. You know,
he was one of the guys. Yeah, he sit around, drink a beer, and just shoot the shit. He was a cool guy.
Dude, he really was. He was awesome, and then to just up and dick us like that.
Yeah, and he did a lot more than just steal our exact ideas and shit from the show. I mean, he tried to shut me out. You know, with the UFC media relations department. I mean, he really tried to screw me. You know, he couldn't. Because I'm Matt Boone, and I will survive, but, you know.
So, Matt Boone?
Damn
I'm
right.
awesome. And I'm awesome.
Oh, I'll never say that. I'm sorry. Next weekend we've got Dream 10 from Japan. We got Shinya Aoki versus Shaolin Ribeiro. We got Mirko Krokops, fresh off of screwing over the UFC against Mighty Mo. Melvin Manhoff versus Paulo Filio, from former WC guy. Sakurai's on that card. But August 1st, which is not far away, we've got the big Affliction 3 show, which I didn't even realize this. They added Takanori Gomi to that show. My God, they got Fedor versus Josh Barnett. They've got Babalu on there, Vitor Belfort on there, Paul Buentello, Takanori Gomi. Like I said, that's a big ass card. So
is that pay-per-view?
Half of it will be on HD Net, and then the other half will be on pay-per-view.
Ah, gotcha.
So, yeah, August 1st for that one.
One of those deals. See, I was going to order the HD Net, but I don't know about their future, you know what I mean? And there's not enough MMA content on there live. I'm looking for live content, you know what I mean? The only reason that I have Showtime, I don't watch the movies or anything. I just wait for the Strike Force. That's the only reason.
And boxing.
Yeah, and boxing as well, you know what I mean? But boxing is whatever. I mean, UFC, MMA is just leaps and bounds over anything right now for me, you know what I mean?
Including pro wrestling, yeah, if you're being honest.
God, including pro wrestling.
I mean, if you're really honest with yourself and say, what would I rather see, UFC 100 this weekend or Night of Champions? I think I would much rather see UFC 100.
Yeah. Oh God, without a doubt. I wouldn't miss the UFC pay-per-view for the life of me. You're the guy behind that. You're the guy that got me into UFC.
It's slowly changing like that for everybody. I mean, everybody wants to get a taste of UFC. It slowly gets them, man.
You know, and the thing that kills me is these wrestling fans go and they tune out. You know, when you come up for hour number 3, and we not because you're here, but for UFC and MMA, it's like, where are you? I mean, maybe it's just they're not ready to take it on just yet. You know,
you gotta understand too the demographic. You guys, it's probably a lot of teenagers, and they're not old enough to really enjoy and respect and appreciate UFC yet. But when they get older, believe me, they'll be switching sides like everybody else.
Right. And no, I mean, you could tell by the phone calls that we receive on a weekly basis. A lot of these, a lot of kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just aren't.
Wrestling fans in general is a younger demographic. Most people, they say you grow out of wrestling. And then there was nothing else to transition to back in the day unless you tried to make it to boxing, which has no similarities. But now, when you grow out of pro wrestling, you grow right into UFC and MMA. So.
Right. So that does it, right?
I'm satisfied.
I'm satisfied, no doubt. We went for about 45 minutes, which is what we said we were going to do. But guys, UFC 100. I'm telling you, if you're
watch the countdown tonight, right when we get off the air, 10 o'clock, Spike TV, 10 o'clock Eastern. Watch that UFC countdown. You'll get hyped up. If you order the pay-per-view this weekend, there's no way you're not going to see at least one or two amazing fights, a lot of star power, a lot of cool stuff because it's the big 100th anniversary pay-per-view show. I mean, my God, I guarantee you will come away like, holy, I can't wait for the MMA segment on WZR next week. That's what you're going to think.
Actually, I was just going to ask you, man. I want to see you next week because I want to do this again. I'll do the normal, WWE TNA with Jose, but we got to do a post show on next Tuesday for sure.
I told you before, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was the last time I was on here. Anytime you call me, I'm back. I'm starting to get into this WZR thing again. I'm enjoying it.
I know you are, baby. I like it. I like when Matty B's here, man. It's something to talk MMA. You know what I mean? MMA, UFC is good. Wrestling, I know you have a hard time.
Yeah, I gotta tell a lot more jokes when I do wrestling because I get so fucking bored.
No doubt. All right, so UFC 100, guys, definitely check it out. MMAnews.com, Matty B's site is going to have lots of interviews up going into the weekend. The only thing live weigh-ins, that's right, video coverage on MMAnews.com. We'll have the weigh-in results over at my MMA website, MMAscoops.com, but we're going to get them from Matty B's website from his live video stream. So that'd probably be the place to go over on Friday afternoon is when they're going to do the weigh-ins for that, I believe.
Yep. And then Saturday, take your pick, MMAnews.com or MMAscoops.com for play-by-play, whichever you're more comfortable with.
No doubt, guys. So MMAscoops.com and MMAnews.com. That is going to do it for this week. Remember, go watch the UFC 100 countdown show. It starts 20 minutes on Spike TV, and those countdown shows are very, very, very well done.
Awesome, man. You get so hyped up. By the time that show's over, you're like, oh, God, I wish it was Saturday, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you aren't playing, dude. Those countdown shows are awesome. And if you don't know a lot about UFC or the fighters that are fighting, they
tell the whole story. Yeah, I remember back, you would get into UFC enough to watch the pay-per-views, but you didn't care about the news or anything like that. And I always try to tell you, dude, watch this countdown show. These things are all, and you would never watch the countdown shows. I think I finally got you doing that too now.
Well, I always caught them because you order the pre-show before the pay-per-view, and they air half of it. They air that half an hour. I know it's an hour-long show, but they do
a 10-minute little preview. They actually give you
little blocks.
They do a 10-minute one, and then they just repeat it twice for the half an hour, because actually with the UFC countdown that's coming on tonight, every UFC countdown they put a 10-minute preview of it on UFC.com to get you hyped up for the countdown special.
Oh,
and
really?
That's the same thing that they play as the pre-show before the pay-per-view. Yeah.
All right, so 20 minutes, guys. Go check that out if you're a UFC fan or if you're just getting into UFC. This is a big
Or you're a Brock Lesnar fan.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar is going to be featured as well here in about 20 minutes. So that's on Spike TV. Go check it out if you got nothing else on. And then, like we said, MMAscoops.com, MMAnews.com, live play-by-play Saturday night, and live weigh-in video coverage as well on Friday afternoon, MMAnews.com for that. Matty B,
thank you.
It's been fun as always, my man, and I will see you next week at some point, probably for a third hour, and we'll run down UFC 100 from this Saturday night. Should be awesome, man. Awesome.
Good deal, brother. Good deal.
All right, my man. We'll see you guys. Actually, check out the official website at WZR Radio, WZROnline.com. For Matt Boone.
That's me.
Ryan Clark.
That's him.
That's me. Saying see you next Tuesday night, 7 to 9 Eastern Time, 7 to 10 Eastern Time next Tuesday night. We'll see you then. Peace.